While most people are saying yes to every social invitation, filling their calendars with parties, events, and group hangouts, there's a whole group of people who are doing the exact opposite. They're carefully choosing who gets their time, who gets their energy, and who gets access to them. And society has labelled these people as antisocial, standoffish, even rude. But here's what nobody is telling you. There's a massive difference between being antisocial and being selectively social. And if you're someone who would rather have coffee with one person you trust than attend a party with 50 people, you barely know this video is going to completely change how you see yourself. So let me ask you, have you ever been called antisocial for simply protecting your energy and choosing your connections carefully? If the answer is yes, keep watching. Because today we're diving into the psychology of selective socialization and why it's not a flaw, it's actually a strength. First, let's get something straight. Being antisocial, in the clinical sense, means having a disregard for social norms, lacking empathy, and engaging in potentially harmful behaviour toward others. That is not you. You're not avoiding people because you don't care about them. You're being intentional about where you invest your social energy. And according to research in social psychology, this isn't just normal. It's actually a sign of emotional intelligence and self-awareness. A landmark study from the University of Virginia found that people with fewer but deeper friendships report higher life satisfaction than those with large but superficial social networks. The quality of your relationships matters far more than the quantity. So if you've ever felt guilty for turning down invitations, for preferring small gatherings, or for having a tight social circle, I want you to understand something. You're not broken. You're selective. And there's a psychological reason for it. Today we're exploring 3 distinct psychological profiles that explain exactly why you're wired this way. Profile 1. The Energy Economist. The first profile is what I call the Energy Economist. And if this is you, you understand something that most people don't. Social interaction is an energy transaction. Every conversation, every gathering, every interaction has a cost, and you're extremely conscious about how you spend that currency. Here's what's happening in your brain. According to cognitive load theory, your brain has a limited capacity for processing information. And social situations, they demand a lot of it. When you're in a social setting, you're not just talking. You're reading facial expressions, processing tone, managing conversation flow, monitoring how you're being perceived, and making countless micro-decisions about what to say, when to say it, and how to respond. For you, this process is expensive. You might be an energy economist if you feel exhausted after social events, even the good ones. You mentally calculate whether social obligations are worth it. You'd rather say no than show up half present. You need alone time to recharge, not just to rest. You've been accused of overthinking your social plans. You feel guilty for declining invitations, even when you know it's the right choice. And here's what's crucial to understand. This isn't selfishness. It's self-preservation. Research on burnout shows that people who consistently override their energy needs end up depleted, resentful, and less effective in all their relationships. By being selective, you're actually protecting your ability to show up fully for the people and moments that truly matter. You're not antisocial, you're investing wisely. You're an energy economist, and that's a strength. Profile 2. The Depth Seeker. The second profile is the Depth Seeker, and if this resonates with you, surface-level interactions don't just bore you, they actually drain you. You crave conversations with substance, connections with meaning, and relationships that go far beyond small talk. This connects to fascinating research on conversational depth and psychological well-being. A study published in Psychological Science found that people who engage in more substantive conversations report significantly higher levels of happiness than those who stick to small talk. For you, a 2-hour deep conversation with one person is infinitely more satisfying than an entire evening of chit-chat with dozens of people. Here's what makes you different. While others can genuinely enjoy light social interactions, the banter, the jokes, the surface level updates, your brain is constantly searching for meaning. You're not satisfied with what do you do or how's the weather. You want to know what makes people tick, what they believe, what they've struggled with, what drives them at their core. And when you can't access that depth, the interaction feels hollow, empty, like a waste of your precious time and energy. You might be a depth seeker if small talk feels physically uncomfortable, almost painful. You'd rather be alone than stuck in shallow conversations. You ask questions that make people say, "Wow, no one's ever asked me that." You have a small social circle, but those friendships are incredibly deep. You feel misunderstood by people who don't get your intensity. You've been told you're too much, too serious, or too deep. And here's the truth. In a world that celebrates quantity over quality, your preference for depth is actually rare and valuable. Research on authentic relationships shows that people with even just one truly deep connection experience better mental health, lower stress levels, and greater life satisfaction than those with many superficial connections. You're not being picky. You're honoring what you actually need from human connection. And that's not a flaw, that's wisdom. Profile 3. The pattern recognizer. The third profile is the pattern recognizer. And if this is you, you've spent years observing social dynamics, and you've noticed something important. Not all relationships are reciprocal, and not all social spaces are worth your time. This connects to social exchange theory in psychology, which examines the cost-benefit analysis we unconsciously perform in all our relationships. The pattern recognizer has simply become very, very good at this analysis. You've learned to spot the signs. One-sided friendships where you're always the one reaching out. Energy vampires who take and take, but never give back. Obligation-based relationships that exist out of guilt, not genuine connection. And social environments where you're expected to perform rather than truly connect. Here's what's happened over time. You've been to the parties where you felt alone in a crowd. You've maintained friendships out of obligation, only to realize they were draining you. You've said yes when you meant no, and you regretted it every single time. And gradually, through experience and observation, you've developed what psychologists call boundary intelligence, the ability to recognize and protect your emotional and social limits. You might be a pattern recognizer if you've cut people off who others still tolerate or make excuses for. You can quickly sense when someone isn't genuinely interested in you. You'd rather have no plans than bad plans. You've been called selective, guarded, or hard to get to know. You trust your gut about people even when others don't see what you see. You have zero interest in networking events, forced socialization, or keeping up appearances. And here's what matters. This isn't cynicism, it's discernment. Research on emotional intelligence shows that the ability to recognize unhealthy relationship patterns and set firm boundaries is a core component of psychological well-being and personal success. You're not closed off, you're protecting your peace. You're not antisocial, you're selectively social because you've learned through experience that not everyone deserves access to you. And that's not cold, that's healthy. The common thread. Now, here's something important. You might see yourself in all three of these profiles. Maybe you're an energy economist who also seeks depth and has also learned to recognize patterns through experience. And that's completely normal. These profiles aren't mutually exclusive. They often overlap and reinforce each other. The common thread. You've learned something that many people haven't, that meaningful connection doesn't require constant availability. That quality matters more than quantity. That protecting your social energy isn't selfish, it's self-aware. Society might tell you that being social means being available to everyone, attending every event, maintaining a large network, always saying yes, but you know differently. You've learned differently. Your selective approach to socializing isn't a limitation, it's a strength. It means the relationships you do have are chosen, not collected. It means when you show up, you show up fully, not half-heartedly. It means you've rejected the toxic idea that more connection automatically equals better connection. And that's not antisocial, that's intentional, that's wise, that's healthy. So, which profile resonated most with you? Are you the energy economist, carefully managing your social resources? The depth seeker, craving substance over small talk? Or the pattern recognizer, who's learned through experience to protect your peace? Drop a comment below and let me know. I genuinely want to hear which one you identify with, or if you're a combination of all three, because I have a feeling most of you are. And if this video made you feel seen, if it helped you understand yourself a little better, if it gave you permission to stop feeling guilty about your social preferences, please hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about understanding the psychology behind who we are, especially for those of us who don't quite fit the mainstream mold. You're not alone here. You're part of a community that gets it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're not antisocial. You're selectively social. And that's exactly as it should be.